our coaches always tell us to just keep shooting because they know they have confidence in us. And we got, I mean, the easy baskets, those took care of themselves. So I mean, we just had to knock down those open shots in the first half.
Or even, how do you like coming off the bench? It seems like the last two games especially, and I know you've been battling some physical problems, but the last two games especially, you really, even the last 10 minutes or so of the game, you were really, seemed fresh and gave the team a lift.
Well, I don't really pay attention to, starting to come off the bench. I just try to go in there and play as hard as I can and get that team really needed.
You're obviously still feeling pretty good towards the end of the games. The best parts of your games the last two have been the last few minutes.
Yeah, definitely. Just try to stretch it out and see the win.
What would you all talk about at halftime as opposed to the second half?
Got to pick up the intensity, and just play hard. I mean, shots weren't falling, but we were getting some good looks, and just to control the boards. We came out and did that in the second half and played a little harder.
Did during the timeouts at all? Did we talk about defensive intensity at all? Bryant doesn't score a lot of points, but they had 19 or 20 really quick.
Yeah, and some of them were easy putbacks. So I mean, he definitely put that, especially at the end. Down the stretch, it was kind of close. So we needed those rebounds and stops. Those were key in our win.
Julian, you seemed like early in the second half you hit a couple of big shots. It seemed like you were about to have a really, and then you kind of stopped shooting. Is it just one of those things where you're finding other people open, or just all of a sudden you weren't as much in the flow offensively?
Well, I mean, I had heard their bench talking the whole time, and they were focused on me the whole game. So I just try to let it opened up a lot of things for the rest of the team. So I just let them keep playing.
Did we already sign?
Now they're going to go sign.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
You good? You good? All right, you guys can go sign.
Good, thanks.
You guys stick around?
You want me?
Oh, yeah, if I have a choice.
I was asking them the other day. You said it took a while for a couple of them to show up. Were you wondering where the whole team was at the beginning today? That you guys fell behind by 10?
I gave the best Newt Rockney speech I've ever given. Guess it didn't really work. No.
Well, it just seemed like, again, a little sluggish start, but with about 7
They
minutes
were rah, in the locker room, knocking walls down.
Well, how did you fall behind by 10 to Bryant then?
Because we didn't play that way. We didn't move our feet that way. Yes, clearly. But it was nice to see now 2 games in a row the ability to regroup and figure it out and get ourselves back in the game. That's definitely a level of maturity that we really hadn't seen over the last 2 years, I think.
To what do you attribute that? Just going through it, just playing a lot of games?
Great coaching.
There you go.
No, I mean, it's just going through it. There's nothing to do.
Quote.
I mean, you got to grow up, you got to be in it, you got to have a chance to miss some and make some, and know that you can do it.
Had you drawn up a play for Josh toward the end of the game, or was that just him kind of freelancing?
No, that was part of the play.
Okay.
There was some numerous options on that. He read it a little funny. He didn't come off that screen the way I thought he was going to come off it, but he came off it in a way that got himself open. And we had been the coaching staff had been telling him all night that you're going to hit a game winner. Just keep shooting. Don't worry, you're going to hit the one that's going to work for us. And it was really nice to see him step up when we needed to make a tough one. He made it and made some foul shots. So yeah, that was good. And, yeah, that's good.
You're telling him he's going to make the game winner, but are you happy to see the kind of shot he got? He was having a tough time from 3. That's maybe not his forte, but he's able to come in there and
I was in that. I had just told them to shot fake, and we've been talking a lot about that, even in the Albany loss. Like, I thought Julian might have shot faked in that situation and drawn a foul. We're just, as they grow older, they get a little more crafty, maybe. And I thought his decision there had a little savvy to it.
You guys came out fired in the second half. Where'd you play your team at halftime?
We talked about the need to cut hard. Bryant doesn't really play you hard defensively in terms of overplaying. They just kind of stay in front of you. And sometimes you get lulled into, it's kind of easy, it's kind of comfortable. I'm just standing here, no one's harassing me. And so you don't move hard and fast. And we needed to move our feet and our bodies harder and faster in everything that we did. And I thought we did a pretty good job of that in the beginning of the second half.
the next you're going on the road now. You've got a few. I mean, it's a team that hasn't. You're talking about growing up a little bit. It's a team that hasn't done a great job on the road. But it's now the time. I mean, if you guys are going to get into this thing and be in the middle of the conference race, you probably got to get a couple wins on the road before you come back here.
Yeah, Coach was talking about that the other day. We were just talking about the need to win here, win there. I don't know. I mean, road is hard, but I don't think this group looks at the home and road and road is any different. It's the next day. We got to get better. It's the next game. It's a different challenge. Certainly, we got to win games, whether they're home or away, wherever they are. We got to start winning more games to put ourselves where we want to be to have a chance to win this thing. We don't.
I thought it was interesting with 2-3 minutes left of a really close game. You had Jacoby and Xavier in the game. Does that speak to how they're how they're playing?
I thought it was interesting too. Yeah, I mean, again, like right? We got to grow up.
Yeah.
You got to grow up, and at some point, I got to give them a chance to make plays, and they did. They did, which was great. It's part of it.
What is it about Raven? It seems like at the end of the game, he's at his best. He seems fresher. He's doing more. He's getting more rebounds. With 10 minutes, 5 minutes left than he is in the first half.
Did you ask him?
I did ask.
What did he say?
He didn't say much.
All right.
He said ask you.
Yeah.
When I get that answer, I'll email you all.
Okay. Do you like what he gives you coming off the bench, though? I mean, is there a strategic reason to?
No, it just kind of developed that way.
Yeah.
Or does it happen? And it has appeared that it's been good for him.
Sure.
It certainly hasn't been bad for him.
No.
I think the ability to kind of see what's going on has been okay. And he's handled it.
Yeah.
There's never been any problem. He's been great. So it's where we are right now.
Thanks a lot.